everyone. Welcome back to the Easy English Conversations podcast. I'm Olivia.
And I'm Jacob. Thanks for joining us today.
We're so happy you're here. How are you doing, Jacob?
I'm doing great, thanks. Actually, I just got off a video call with my mom before we started recording.
Oh, that's nice. I love that. Family connections are so important, aren't they?
Absolutely. And actually, that's perfect timing because today we're talking about family.
Yes, today's topic is all about how to talk about your family in English. We'll share vocabulary, expressions, and of course, our own family stories.
This is such a useful topic because talking about family is one of the most common conversation topics when you meet new people.
Exactly. People always ask, do you have any brothers or sisters? Or tell me about your family. So it's really important to feel comfortable with this topic.
And Olivia and I have very different family situations, which makes this conversation even more interesting.
That's true. I come from a big family, and Jacob, well, let's just say his family gatherings are a lot quieter than mine.
That's definitely true. Okay, let's dive in and start talking about family.
So, Jacob, let's start with the basics. Can you tell our listeners about your family?
Sure. I have a small family. It's just me, my mom, and my dad. I'm an only child.
An only child. That means you don't have any brothers or sisters, right?
Exactly. No siblings at all. It was just the three of us growing up.
I find that so interesting because my experience was completely different. I come from a big family. I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters.
Wow, so that's 6 children total in your family.
Yes, and I'm right in the middle. I have 2 older siblings and 3 younger ones.
So you're a middle child. I've heard that middle children are usually good at keeping the peace.
That's true. I definitely learned how to negotiate and compromise. When you have 5 siblings, you have to share everything. The bathroom, the TV remote, the last piece of pizza.
I never had to deal with that. Sometimes I wonder what it would have been like to have a brother or sister.
Did you ever feel lonely as an only child?
Sometimes, yes, but I also had a lot of one-on-one time with my parents. We had deep conversations, and they could really focus on my interests and activities.
That makes sense. In my house, with so many kids, my parents had to divide their attention, but we had each other for company.
And you probably learned a lot from your siblings, too.
Oh, definitely. My older brother taught me how to ride a bike, my older sister helped me with my homework, and I helped my younger siblings with the same things.
That's really sweet. So in English, when we talk about family structure, we use words like only child for someone like me, and for Olivia, we might say she has a large family or comes from a big family.
Right, and there are other useful terms too. For example, if you're the first child born, you're the oldest child or eldest child. The last child born is the youngest child.
And Olivia is the middle child because she has siblings both older and younger than her.
Now, what about extended family, Jacob? That means family members beyond your parents and siblings, like grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins.
Good question. I have a small extended family too. Both of my grandmothers are still alive, but my grandfathers have passed away.
I'm sorry to hear that. Passed away is a polite way to say someone has died.
Thank you. I have 2 aunts and 1 uncle and about 5 cousins total. We see each other maybe once or twice a year.
That's quite different from my family. Let me think. I have 4 grandparents, all still living, thankfully. I have, pauses to count, 7 aunts and uncles, and I've lost count of how many cousins.
You literally lost count?
I know. I think I have around 20 cousins, maybe more. Some of them I only see at big family reunions.
20 cousins? That's incredible. What about nieces and nephews? Do you have any?
Yes, my older brother and sister both have kids, so I'm an aunt. I have 3 nieces and 2 nephews.
That's lovely. So just to clarify for our listeners, a niece is the daughter of your brother or sister, and a nephew is the son of your brother or sister.
Exactly. And I'm their aunt, and if I were a man, I'd be their uncle.
I don't have any nieces or nephews because I don't have siblings. But when my cousins have children, their kids will be my... what's the term?
They'll be your first cousins once removed. But honestly, most people just call them cousin, too. English family terms can get really complicated.
That's true. I think the important thing is just knowing the basic terms: mother, father, sister, brother, grandmother, grandfather, aunt, uncle, cousin, niece, nephew.
Absolutely. Those are the essential words you need.
Olivia, with such a big family, how do you get along with everyone? Do you have a favorite sibling?
Whew, that's a dangerous question. I love all my siblings, but I'm probably closest to my younger sister, Emma. We're only 2 years apart in age, so we grew up sharing a room and doing everything together.
What does closest to mean in this context?
Good question. When I say I'm closest to Emma, I mean we have the strongest relationship. We're very close. We talk almost every day and share our problems and secrets with each other.
That's nice. And what about your relationship with your brothers?
My brothers and I get along well, but we're not as close. We're close in the sense that we love each other and support each other, but we don't talk as frequently.
I see. So get along means to have a good relationship with someone, right?
Exactly. We get along well means we don't fight and we enjoy spending time together. You can also say we get along great or just we get along.
And what if you don't have a good relationship? What do you say?
You might say we don't get along or we don't see eye to eye. That means you disagree often or have personality conflicts.
Fortunately, I get along really well with my parents. We're very close.
That's wonderful. Do you have any family traditions?
We have a few. Every Sunday, we have dinner together. It's a tradition we've kept for years. Even now that I live in my own apartment, I go to their house for Sunday dinner.
That's so sweet. We have traditions too, but with such a big family, they're usually big events. Every summer, we have a family reunion where everyone comes together.
How many people show up to that?
Sometimes over 40 people. My grandparents rent a big house by the lake, and we all stay there for a long weekend.
40 people? That sounds chaotic, but fun.
It is both chaotic and fun. There are kids running everywhere, adults cooking in the kitchen, people playing games. It's loud and messy, but I love it.
I can imagine. My family gatherings are much quieter. When we all get together, it's maybe 8 or 10 people at most.
But that has its advantages too, right? You can actually have conversations with everyone.
That's true. At our gatherings, we can sit around one table and everyone can hear each other talk. I imagine at your reunions, you have to shout to be heard.
Absolutely. Sometimes I lose my voice by the end of the weekend from talking so much.
So let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of our different family situations. Olivia, what do you think are the pros of having a big family?
Oh, there are so many. First, you always have someone to talk to or play with. You're never bored or lonely.
That's a good point.
And second, you learn important life skills like sharing, compromising, and being patient. You have to learn these things when you're sharing space with so many people.
What else?
You have a built-in support system. If I have a problem, I have 5 siblings I can call for advice. Different siblings are good at different things, so I always have someone who can help.
That's a great advantage. What about the disadvantages?
Well, it can be overwhelming sometimes. Family gatherings are loud and exhausting. And when you're growing up, you don't get much privacy or alone time.
I can imagine. You mentioned sharing a room with your sister. I always had my own room.
Exactly. I didn't have my own room until I was 16 when my older siblings moved out. And there was always competition for my parents' attention.
That makes sense. For me, as an only child, the biggest advantage was definitely having my parents' full attention and resources.
Right. They could focus entirely on you.
Yes, they could afford to send me to summer camp, music lessons, sports, activities that might have been harder to pay for with 6 kids.
That's very true. My parents couldn't afford special activities for all of us. We mostly did free things like playing at the park.
But you learned to entertain yourselves and each other, which is valuable too. For me, the main disadvantage of being an only child was loneliness sometimes.
Did you wish you had siblings?
When I was younger, yes. I used to ask my parents for a little brother or sister. But now I appreciate the unique experience I had.
And I appreciate my experience too, even though it was completely different from yours.
Olivia, can you share a funny family story? I'm sure you have plenty.
I have so many. Okay, here's one. Last Christmas, we did a Secret Santa gift exchange. Do you know what that is?
Yes, it's when everyone draws a name and buys a gift for that person secretly.
Exactly. So my brother drew my name and he bought me a cookbook. But here's the funny part. He accidentally gave me the same cookbook I had given him 3 years ago.
No way. Did he realize it?
Not at first. When I opened it, I said, "This looks familiar." and he turned bright red when he realized. We both laughed so hard.
That's hilarious. It sounds like something that would only happen in a big family where people forget who gave what.
Exactly. What about you? Any funny family stories?
Well, mine are quieter. But I remember when I was about 10, my parents tried to teach me to cook. My dad is a terrible cook, so my mom was in charge. But that day, my mom had to leave for an emergency, so my dad had to finish teaching me.
Oh no.
We were making spaghetti, the simplest dish, right? But somehow we forgot about the pot on the stove and the water boiled over and made a huge mess.
Classic. Did you ever learn to cook properly?
Yes, eventually. My mom made sure of it. Now I'm actually a decent cook.
Wow, we've covered a lot today. Let's do a quick recap of what we discussed.
Great idea. So first, we talked about family size and structure. Remember, an only child is someone with no siblings, and siblings means brothers and sisters.
We also discussed extended family. That includes grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews.
We shared some useful phrases like get along well, which means to have a good relationship, and closest to, which describes your strongest family bond.
We talked about the pros and cons of different family sizes. Big families have built-in playmates and support systems, but they can also be loud and overwhelming.
And small families offer more one-on-one attention and resources, but they can sometimes feel lonely.
We also mentioned family traditions like our Sunday dinners and summer reunions.
And don't forget, talking about family is one of the most common conversation topics when meeting new people. So it's important to practice these phrases in vocabulary.
Exactly. And remember, every family is unique. There's no perfect family size or structure. They all have their own special qualities.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's episode.
We hope you learned some useful vocabulary and expressions for talking about your family.
If you want to practice, try this. Pause the podcast right now and describe your own family out loud in English. How many siblings do you have? Who are you closest to?
That's a great exercise. And if you want to take it further, write a few sentences about your family in English. Practice makes perfect.
Before we go, we'd love to hear from you. What's your family like? Is it big or small? Send us a message on social media or leave a comment.
Yes, please share your family stories with us. We read every message and we love hearing from our listeners around the world.
Thank you so much for listening to the Easy English Conversations podcast.
Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode.
Next time, we'll be talking about hobbies and free time activities.
It's going to be a fun one. Until then, keep practicing your English.
And keep having great conversations. Bye for now.